Hello and welcome back to Strong Woman High's Life is a Mishmash. Today we have a very special guest joining the show. We have Rebecca Joshi, or as you may know her, Training and Transfusions on Instagram. Welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. Are you okay?
I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, the two Rebeccas getting together. Let's go. So, do you want to give a little bit of a brief elevator pitch introduction to who you are, what you're all about for people on the pod?
Yeah, so I'm Rebecca. I train at Rhino's Gym in Tamworth, and my strong woman journey started after getting diagnosed with aplastic anemia last year. People probably don't even know what aplastic anemia is. It is a very rare, World Health Organization label it as an ultra rare disease. It's ultimately just, I say just, but it's ultimately bone marrow failure.
Right.
So within our bone marrow, we have stem cells where we create our free blood cells, which is red cells, white cells, platelets. I don't create any of them. So I have to take steroids, immunosuppressants, etc., to be able to stimulate that. And I've always trained, I've always been in the gym, just normal, everyday Joe, nothing spectacular. And the doctors, when I was first poorly, were like, if you wasn't so fit and healthy and had such good muscle mass, you probably would have died from the bleed. And so I was like, right, I'm going to get stronger. And I've always known about strongman, etc. I used to go to the Rhino site to have my sports massage with a lady she's no longer there, and she had a yoga studio. I used to do yoga. So I joined Rhinos, found Rosie, who's my coach. Well, I'm no longer with Rosie at the minute, but she's been my coach up until the past few weeks, and learned how to do strongman. Never wanted to compete. It was never on the cards, but I kind of realised I was good at it. And so then I competed at the Arnold's in March, the end of March, and I placed 9th out of, I think, 16 or 18, I can't remember, which I was really proud of.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of women in the novice category that were like, avid competitors. I podiumed. I didn't podium, sorry, of course I didn't podium. I hit all my goals. So, like, Rosie made me go, like, on each event, what do you want to do? And I hit every single one, wanted to finish top 10 and did. And so, yeah, that was how I got into strongman. And if I didn't get poorly, probably never would have done it.
Class. That's so. I love that. I love that that was like the getting into strongman. They told you like, oh yeah, it's a good thing you were strong, and you were just like, do you know what I'm gonna do then? I'm gonna get fucking stronger.
Yeah.
Like, hell
I'm the
yeah.
type of person though, like I can't sit on my bum. So obviously, it all started from an uncontrolled period, and I
Right.
spent the day. I come on my period as a normal day, and it was just really heavy. And I was going through pads, and all I kept saying to my partner and my kids were, "Oh, this isn't normal. This isn't normal." And then we got to like towards the end of the day, and they were like, "Yeah, we get it. It's not normal." Like no one, you couldn't really envisage what was to come.
Yeah.
And so my oldest was at work. He went to work. He was working nights at the time, and it was just me and my little daughter at home. I say little; they're both adults. So, and I was 17 at the time. So I just felt whacked, and I just said, you know what? It's been a long day at work. And when you lose your blood and blah blah blah, you just kind of think, oh, you know what? I'll take the rest. I just felt a little bit fatigued. Well, I went to bed, and I don't remember anything else. So
Oh God.
my eldest, so my eldest come home. I was delusional. I was asking them where their dad was, why their dad had left them at home on their own. I don't remember any of this. This is just what they were telling me. Me and their dad had been separated like 10 years at the time. And I'm
Oh
like,
God.
where's your dad? Why's your dad left you at home on your own?
Oh no.
I did, yeah. So we'd been in our house now where we are about 2 years,
Mm.
but I didn't recognise where I was. I kept saying, "Where are we? What's going on? Like, why are we here?" So she and Rianne, who's my eldest, was back and forth on the phone to Ad, who was at work. They phoned 111, and that was kind of the start of it. Then, so had multiple hospital appointments and bloods, etc. Obviously, being females as we are, everything's just put down to gynae. Oh, it's a gynae issue. Oh, it's your age issue.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this has never been a problem before. Like, my periods have always been like clockwork.
Mm.
Like, month in, month out. I know I'm older. I know I've had periods for years, but it just doesn't sit right. And then one Friday night, me and Ad were on the sofa and I got a phone call. It was about 7:30 and it was like, we need you to come in now. And I was like, it's Friday night. What are you going to do? So
Yeah.
we went in, they admitted me, and somewhere along the line, some medical professional picked up my blood levels. So the blood levels that they look for is your hemoglobin, which is your red cells, and your platelet level, and mine were through the floor.
Mm.
And they were like, there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
So I got left in the hospital. Ad went home, and then it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until one day the leukemia word came up.
Right.
And that was because of my white blood cells then. So then that's how they knew it was all free blood cells. So that's how they knew that it was something to do with my bone marrow.
Hmm.
And then I had to have a bone marrow biopsy, which is vile. I will never wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah, I can't imagine
Um,
that's nice.
so, and that's where the whole fit and healthy muscle mass thing came from. Because I had, you've got really good bones. Because the doctor literally could not drill into my hip because it goes into your hip bone.
Yeah.
So the doctor couldn't like get into my hip bone to aspirate the bone marrow. And I was in agony. And then the HCA lady, bless her, that was in there to support me, she thought she was ticking something off on a CPD because she'd never been involved in one before. And I think she was traumatized.
Were you
Because
awake?
I was like, yes, this is the
Oh
thing. You're
no!
awake, you lie on your side, and they either put it into your hip bone. But I'm quite big boned anyway. I'm not a small girl, and I'm very bottom heavy. So I was like, "Are you sure?" "Oh yeah, it's a bedside procedure." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll give you local anaesthetic." And I was like, "That's hurting more than it's supposed to." So they just kept giving me more local, more local. And I was like, absolutely not. In the end, I was screaming,
Oh
absolutely
God.
screaming. The consultant was covered in sweat because it was whatever. And after all of that, it was inconclusive.
Oh no! Oh my
So
God.
after all of that, it was inconclusive. But that's where the comments come from. You've got good muscle mass. You must be fit and healthy. You've got good bone density. It should never be that hard and blah blah blah.
Mm.
Obviously, people who are weaker, smaller, etc. You have poor bone density, don't you?
Mm.
So then I had to have another bone marrow biopsy, and I was like, you can put me under. I'm not going through that again.
Yeah,
So that
fair.
took a little bit of a long time to come through because we had to wait for the bed and the procedure. And then obviously I had it, and that's where I got my diagnosis. So diagnosis is aplastic anemia, which is bone marrow failure. It is a terminal illness. It will kill you. 100 years ago, when it was kind of first discovered, it was incurable. So
Right.
there was no cures. And if you look at the history of aplastic anemia, it's quite bizarre, I think, really, because I've had a little bit of a research round. Because obviously, I want to make sure when I'm talking to you on this podcast, it's factual.
Yeah.
And the actual treatments that they do now for aplastic anemia were only developed in the late 70s, early 80s. So how they treat aplastic anemia is only within my lifetime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I was born 85. So, like, when you actually think about it on the grand scale of things, it's only really been developed in the last 40 years. So the
Mm.
60 years prior to that, people were just dying
Yeah.
and dying and dying. And so the traditional therapy is something called ATG therapy, and it's horse antibodies. So you go
Right.
into hospital and it's pretty much cancer treatment. They shut your immune system down and you're hooked up with PICC lines and they give it you over a drip over 18 hours, etc. You're supposed to be in hospital for 6 weeks. And so me being the gobshite that I am, I was like, surely there's another way around this. Like, okay.
I don't want to do that.
I was like, well, I've got two children. Like, as much as they're beautiful and they travel the world and they're one's at uni and one's at college and etc., they also burn super noodles in the microwave. The youngest at the time was 17. So I was like, well, she's still technically a child. And you're asking me to come into hospital for 6 to 10 weeks. Like, what am my kids going to do?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's not really appropriate for me to do that. And then it was like, oh. And then I was like, and then they didn't know what to do because they've never had anybody refuse the treatment.
Yeah.
So then it was kind of rammed down my throat. And anybody who watches this, and like the girls from the gym, the lads from the gym, and even my friends and family who would watch this, don't tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
because then watch me fucking do it. It is that simple. So, but that's what you've got to do. I was like, okay. I was like, so what's your alternative? And we haven't got one. I went, "Well, you need to find one because I'm not going into hospital for that long."
Yeah.
And so the problem that we also had as well is I've got this other random condition. Are you ready for this? Paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria.
What? I've never heard
P&H
of that.
P&H for short. So there's about 300 people in the UK who have this condition, and we've got like 68 million people in the country, you know, just in terms of scales of how rare it is.
Mm.
So for aplastic anemia, I need blood thickeners to clot my blood because obviously I've got no platelets.
Mhm.
But P&H is you can't thicken your blood because you're at risk of blood clots and thrombosis. So they contradict each other.
Yeah.
So I can't have blood thickeners, but I also can't have blood thinners because my platelets are too low. So it was kind of like do you know what? I can sit here and laugh about it now,
Mm.
and I laugh about people with it. But at the time, when I think back to last year, it was just a shitstorm.
Yeah.
Like nothing more and nothing less. They had this person with these two conditions. You know, the consultant that I work with at the QE had never treated it. I've had to have second opinions from King's College in London. So my consultant down there, he's a world specialist.
Mhm.
And he said, we went down for an appointment in London. Don't drive in London with a strong man, by the way, because it's
Horrendous.
like, I think I nearly died before I even got to the appointment. Like, I've never drove in London before. I will never drive. No,
It's not
never
nice.
again. But he said, the consultant said that most haematologist consultants will never see either condition in a 50-year career.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So it's really quite rare. So it was just almost like, yeah, like I said, it was just an absolute shitstorm. I was sat in, I call it the death room. The girls are great. I've got to shout them out. The Sheldon unit, the oncology unit at Good Hope Hospital, the treatment room, the nurses, the reception staff, like they adore me. I adore them. And it was almost like they got what I was and they understood me, whereas the consultants at the top who would kind of make the decisions and all of that jazz, they were like, "No, you've got to do this, you've got to do this," and I'm just like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah.
So I was having like 2-3 transfusions a day. I was in the death room 5 days a week. My
God.
veins were collapsing. I was having bag of red cell after red cell after red cell. So like people normally call it a pint of blood, but it's a bag. It's not quite a pint, I don't think. And it was just like I was literally transfusion dependent. So if I didn't have my transfusions, I'd die. And in the midst of all of it, all I could think about is if I weren't that strong, I would have already been dead. If I'd had any like existing comorbidities like diabetes, asthma, etc., I probably would have been dead. And amongst it all, I was doing wills, I was doing insurances, I was sorting out guardianships for an eye. You know, I can sit and, like I say, I can sit and laugh and joke, but it weren't a
Not
laughing
for me,
matter at the
yeah.
time. It was just vile. I don't know how I existed. I don't know how I survived. But what I do know is I would have been sectioned if I didn't have the gym.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it, it was that thing. It was my time where I'd just go. And even now, like I relapsed last week, I posted it on my Instagram. So I'm now fully in relapse. And then, like 5 days later, I just decided to go to the gym. You know, I pulled 140k on my deadlift the other day, PB'd. Everyone's like, "You supposed to be in the gym?" No, probably not. They'll
Yeah.
probably section me if they found out. But, you know, I've got to do something. I can't just
Yeah.
sit at home. And I've just always been that type of person. We was brought up in a sporty household. My dad played football. My dad boxed. My brother played football. Me and my brother ran for the county. We did athletics. Like, you just didn't sit on your arse at home. Like, you was always doing something.
Yeah.
Coming from my heritage as well. My mum's Asian, my dad's black. So, like, as a girl, you had to learn to cook, you had to learn to clean. It was, you know, it's obviously very stereotypical, but that's just the culture.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And when my mum and dad split up, my dad was like, "Well, you'll have to come and live with me because who's going to cook for me?" And it was, I was like, "Can you find a new wife, Dad?" Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm your daughter. That's just how it is. It's our culture. You know, it's the culture that you brought up in. So, yeah, so I joined Rhinos and I just learned how to strongman last year. But I stick by what I say in terms of strength training for your mental health, but for your physical health, because I feel like if I just sat at home and done nothing, I'd probably be dead by now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, you know, people really need to think about it. And you see all these like videos on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and you've got these 60, 70-year-old women who've like discovered strength training. And it's like you can see and you can see them and they're running on the treadmill, but then you walk into the supermarket and you look at somebody who's potentially like 40, 50, and they're curved over and they can't walk. And it's like it's no disrespect to anybody. It's it at all in the slightest. Live your life how you want to live your life. Like that's one thing that I stand by. But ultimately, if you want a long life, you've got to strength train.
Yeah.
You've got to strength train. And I think one thing that I'm trying to do is really bring that home to people in terms of like, if I didn't go into strongman and if I didn't get a coach who progressively overloaded me
Hmm.
and made sure that I was building strength, I'd be dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple. So then when you go back to the treatment side of aplastic anemia, I'm on chemotherapy and immunosuppressants, and you normally have that alongside this ATG.
Hmm.
But because I refused the ATG, the only thing they could do is just give me the medicine C, and it's worked. So it's never happened before. They've never treated anybody. So for me now, sometimes I really do sit back and go, "Well done, Bab." Like do you know what I mean? You stood your ground because there's other people now with aplastic anemia who potentially don't have to go through such toxicity, such time away from the family and all of that jazz because you actually can sit at home and be medication managed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously I haven't done it off my own back. It's all like managed by the medical professionals. My doses go up and down 24/7. I have to see them like twice a week, and they'll say like your blood to this, we're just gonna up your cyclosporin for this week, but we'll bring it back down for next week, etc. And so it's very much up and down. I work alongside the Aplastic Anemia Trust since we've launched the Lift for a Life comp.
Yeah.
And so one of the medications that I'm on for the platelets is called Altrombabag, and you have to get private funding for it. Now it was through at me, and I think it's because I was so awkward and they had to just kind of do it. But, we've got Wales Health Authority will not fund it. You've got young aplastic anemia normally affects children or older adults. I'm a bit of an anomaly as well in terms of I've developed it in midlife.
Hmm.
And you've got children all over the country being refused our tromb bag because of the cost and because of the funding.
Right.
And it goes back down. So I know it's not quite political, but in terms of like, it goes back to, the NHS and postcode lottery. And it's like, you've got kids who are potentially going to die before they're 15 because you won't pay for the medication.
Yeah.
And then, and you're swarmed on the news by looking at politicians skanking the country out of second homes and all of this jazz. And I'm not a political type of person, and I don't get into the things. I don't get into conversations really. Immigration's another one that people pop up about, and for me, there's this country has an immigration problem, whether it's illegal or legal. I work in children's services, and the amount of unaccompanied asylum-seeking children that come through the doors, it's unreal. Like there's an immigration problem, but it always just goes off. And it's
Yeah.
like
Turns
about
into something
race, and
else.
it's like, do you know what I mean? And it's the same about NHS, like in terms of like the Welsh people, rightly so. It's a case of like they feel like they're being picked on, like we're a minority, we're a smaller part of the UK, and Wales Health Authority don't get a budget the same way that England do. And it's just constantly. And for me, I sit here sometimes and I'm taking my medication and I'm just like, wonder if I can just give some boxes to one of the kids.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And then sometimes I sit here and I get guilt sometimes because it's like, I've lived a life. I've lived a really nice life. My kids are big, like, and it's just like, who gets to play God? Why are people playing God? And it's
Yeah.
like, it's quite a morbid topic, I know, but that's kind of what people in the UK with aplastic anemia are facing. Like, not
Hmm.
only are you facing such a rare condition where your medical professionals are kind of winging it and not too sure how to do things. Like the ATG therapy, for instance, has it like a 58% success rate.
Yeah.
I've connected with so many people through the Aplastic Anemia Trust who have had ATG, and it hasn't worked. And then they've had a second round and it hasn't worked. And then now they're that poorly because they can't get the ultrasound bag that they're having to have transplants. And you're having stem cell transplants, you're having bone marrow transplants. And it's like they're big operations and they can kill you in a normal person in itself. And I just think, yeah. So lift for a life.
Yeah.
So our gym manager, Ant Brown, bless his cotton socks. I was like, can I do a comp for charity? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that was so easy.
Yeah.
I was like expecting a million and one questions in terms of like, well, what do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. So obviously, Ant owns 100 CA. He's got all this experience doing comp sort of thing. A lot of our gym gang do the what's the word? Of crewing and
Yeah.
planning, etc. So you've got Gemma, Adam, Mims, Ali, everybody kind of rallies in. So everyone's like, yeah, we'll do it. And I was like, oh, everyone wants to. And I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
okay. And then I was like, I weren't expecting this. So I was like really excited. So then I'd put all the graphics together. And I was and then he put me on and I was like, oh. And he was just like, well, it's about you and you competed. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So then we obviously put all the events together. I wanted it to be a little bit yeah, like I wanted it to be like farmers into a duck walk, like really like just random. So I don't know if you've seen Paddy Haynes,
Oh
the
yeah.
Opens. They did so he had a mystery event where you had to load the sandbag and then carry a farmers and run with it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was the type of thing I wanted to do. But everyone was like, I don't know, bet. And I was like, all right, I'll just take everybody else's. But I was getting really excited and like we can go from here to there to there. And they were
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
you know how
Like, calm down a bit.
yeah. Do you know how tired the athletes might be just running between the implements? And I was like, oh, I didn't think of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we've launched it. It's had a hell of a lot of interest, but unfortunately, we haven't had very many people actually sign up.
Yeah.
So this is me talking to people saying, come down
Sign
to
up.
Rhinos on the 23rd of August and sign up. Like, we'd love to get some opens in, like, just come and have a play. And for me, yeah, okay, you want a podium and it's PBs but just come and smash some PBs and have a fun day.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, I didn't really want it. I get what competitions are, but it is also a charity comp. So as much as, I get it that you'd want to, podium and things like that, just come and have a laugh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just come and throw things around. If you fail and fuck up, you fail and fuck up. Like, I don't want it to be that type of competition. Explosive Vape have very kindly sponsored it, so they've offered prize money. We're just trying to figure out how much is going into the pots, etc. And they've sponsored all the clothing, so that's it. That's that. And so, yeah, we're ready to go. We just need more people to come on board. So the Anthony Nolan charity will be there. So I don't know if people, for people who don't know and haven't heard of Anthony Nolan, they are the leading charity for bone marrow failures and transplants, etc. The worldwide transplant register and all of that jazz. So they'll be there for people to be able to sign up to be on the stem cell register to check whether, and it is a real simple test that you do at home. And
Mhm.
then you send it back. So you can sign up on the day and you send it back. And it's literally that's it. And then one day you just might get a phone call to say, can you come in? We need your stem cells. Somebody is dying and they need your stem cells.
Yeah.
And it's as easy as a cannula in your arm. And they take your stem cells the same way that they take blood out of your arm and it goes through a machine. It's not some big operation. It's not something massive. NHS Give Blood have also said that they're going to come. So they're going to have a pop-up and they're going to take blood, I believe. I hope I've got that right, but they do have mobile units and pop-ups because they were just at London Marathon. So,
Yeah.
and then people to sign up for like the donor register and all of that jazz, etc. And then we've got Together We Lift as well, who are collaborating with us because obviously the gym was for my mental health.
Mhm.
It was my physical health, but it was my mental health. And obviously that's their drive, isn't it? That's their gig in terms of mental health. So
Yeah.
they'll be there set up with the tandem deadlift as well. So I'm just hoping I just want it to be a really good day. And it's about raising awareness. A press release has gone out. It has attracted some media attention, which is through my little brain. So my anxiety's just gone through the roof. And I'm like, Does somebody want to talk to me? Like, have I got to go on the news? Have I got to go on the news? Or what am I going to do? And I'm like, I can't go on the news. Oh, it puts £10 on you, I've heard. Like, do you not know that us strong women are not really little unless you're the under 57s? Like, I don't want to look like that on national TV. But yeah, so it's we've had a little bit of attention come through from it. So I'm hoping we get some more. There's been some local news and media outlets interested as well. So that'll be a bit, hopefully that'll be a bit of fun. And we've got a cafe on site which will be open all day as well, so you'll be able to get your foods and whatever.
Yeah.
Explosive Ape are going to have a stand there, so you can get some merch for like hopefully dirt cheap, etc. So yeah, so it's just about raising awareness because people don't know what aplastic anemia is, and if I can do anything with what the cards that I've been dealt, it's to make sure that people with aplastic anemia and having diagnoses have a voice
Yeah.
and fight because a lot of the time, and I think we're all guilty for it at some point in our lives, if a doctor says take this tablet, you take the tablet. And we don't question and we don't, we just kind of just assume that because they've got the medical like qualifications and the letters after the name, they know what's best.
Hmm.
But sometimes you know yourself better than anybody else knows you, and you've really just got to go with that gut, I think.
Yeah.
And for me, it was my kids. I can't leave them, so you've got to figure something else out. And I reckon if they were a bit younger and they were still back and forth to their dads, I probably would have just planned around it and had this really toxic and not thrive the way that I did.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I mean, the fact that I competed at the Arnold's, like my consultant was like, "How?" I showed her the videos, and she was just like, "You do know you're not supposed to do that. Your body," and then she's like, "You do know your body shouldn't even be able to do that," and I'm like, "But it does."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like that for me. It's like, but it does.
Yeah.
And if strength training is something that you can put in to support your body, and it goes, for all comorbidities, diabetes, asthma, like it's not just about aplastic anemia, it's about health in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I'm throwing myself around. I want
Hell yeah.
awareness for aplastic anemia. I want people to see what you can do when you put your head into it. I mean, my prep was great. I had so much fun my prep for Arnold's, but my body crashed after. And
Yeah.
everyone said, "Oh, you'll have comp come down and blah blah blah." And I'm like, I feel all right. And I didn't necessarily have like comp blues or comp come down, but my body crashed. And I think because I was just on a trajectory of constantly prep,
Yeah.
clean eating, making sure I was getting my carbs, tracking all your macros, like I did it properly. I think when my body took a week's rest, and then it was like, "Oh,
What is going on?
you're not abusing us anymore." And then it was like, "Now watch what we do to you." And it just completely crashed. My bloods went through the floor. And so then obviously my platelets have just been ridiculous. I've been bleeding since, good God, since the beginning of May now. So that's why they've given me relapse status because they can't control the bleed.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it'd just be simple to give me a hysterectomy, but
Yeah.
NHS, the NHS aren't simple, are they? So,
Nah.
but
Nah.
so that's a bit about me and why I wanted to kind of have a voice, and what kind of like my bit of, I suppose it's my purpose in life now.
Hell yeah.
Into Yeah, and it has given me a big purpose. It
Yeah.
really, really has given me a big purpose.
No, absolutely love it. I love all of that. I think that Lift for Life thing as well. I was so keen to do it, but it's the same weekend as Natural
As natties.
Worlds.
I know.
Yeah. And I've already said, like, I've said I'm going to go and help, but I mean, we'll see. We'll
Well, I
see.
think you should come and bring some friends and come and sign. I don't even actually think we've got any opens women. Would you be opens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
do
I
opens.
don't even think we've got opens women. I think we've got 2 opens men.
Right.
I think that's it. So I think we've done well for the novice category
Yeah.
in terms of, especially novice women. I don't think we've got any inters men, but I think we've got a couple of inters women.
Yeah.
And then we've got no opens women, but a couple of inters men, opens men. So, I mean, with what we've got, we could still probably do like something, but
Yeah.
I just really would like people just to really, but then me and Gemma, who's our gym manager, she was, you know what we're like, Beck? We just sign up last minute. So, like, when I did the Arnolds, Rosie had prepped me from before Christmas, like, in terms of, but I didn't sign up to the Arnolds until, like, a month before. But,
Yeah.
like, and then when Ant posted about the cut-off, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll
I'll do that.
definitely do it." And then there's a few girls in the gym, like, so a couple of are competing next weekend at Flamingo Land,
Mhm.
and they've said, like, "We're gonna see how we go, and then, we're gonna sign up."
Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine who's I found through. I mean, strongman's given me so many new friends, but I've got a friend from Liverpool called Chantal, and she's just done Liverpool Strongest last weekend. So now she's like, right, I'm signing up.
Yeah.
So
Nice. Yeah.
I think
It'll
people
take
are.
time, yeah. It'll
Yeah,
get
I
there.
think so, and I think we're only in June, and we've got until August.
Yeah.
So I still think I think we've just still got a plenty of time. I think I just get disappointed. Like, I'm just like, yay, let's go. And I get excited. And then when my
Mm.
expectations not met, I'm like, oh. And because it had so much attention when we launched it on Instagram, I was just thought we was going to fill it within weeks.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it hasn't. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
there's
hang on a
nobody.
minute.
And
It's
I'm like,
always
where
the
is
same, though.
everyone?
Yeah, comps are
Yeah,
the same. We struggle massively to get people in at comps at the moment. So, yeah, like I've
yeah,
just said for Northern, I'm just not doing them. Like Adam's running the comps now because I was like, I can't be bothered with this. It's too much effort
yeah.
nowadays. But yeah,
Well,
it's
Liverpool strongest. I believe they had a really like big prize pot as well,
mm,
really big prize pot, and yet they really struggled as well. And I think there was only because I went up to watch. I went up the weekend to what, and I was recruiting people. I'm like, "Have you got your next comp booked? I've got one for you. It's only an hour and 40 minutes down the road."
get in.
But my friend Chantal, who competed in novice, I think there was only 4 girls or 5 girls
Was
on
there?
one pool day in novice, like, and I thought that was kind of like, and it was a really good comp, and I thought it was like relatively light as well. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was heavy. And she was like, "If you got foam," and I was like, "My belts are in the car." I was
Imagine
like,
it.
"Couldn't I just do?" And I was like, "But I've never lifted an Atlas stone in my life, so I wouldn't be able to lift stones without like armor because
Yeah.
the log give me hematomas on my arms."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I log now, I have to just use our baby log and load it with plates
Yeah.
because I can lift the big log, but it absolutely pulls me down. And I've tried sleeves, I've tried jumpers over sleeves,
Hmm.
and the bruising is horrendous. And obviously that's part of my condition as well.
Yeah.
So I just think if I picked up an Atlas stone, I picked up a keg once and the bruising was ridiculous as well. So I think if I consistently had Atlas stones, I think I'd just die.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
so
probably not worth trying to
yeah.
find out, is it?
No, I've just got to know my limits somewhere. Like, we'll stick to what we do. Sandbags are all right, but sandbags bruise me as well. Like,
Did
really
I?
bad. Yeah, sandbags really bruise me. So, sandbag to shoulder was one of the events at the Arnold's, and Rosie was like, let's just do whatever. And because of the cardio, like, people don't think strongman's cardio, do they?
No, it is though.
There's so much fucking cardio in strongman. And I remember thinking, I'll never forget when she told me I had to run with the farmers. When I first learned I had to do farmers, and she was like, "Yeah, try and get it in like under 15 seconds." I was like, I did it in like 26 seconds. And I was like, at what point was I going to be able to do that? And I remember sitting there, and anybody at Rhinos who's seen me last year when I first started training, I'd walk out the front of the gym where we pull up outside, and I'd pace it, and I'd be like, and I'd have to pace. So then my consultant gave me this tactic where if you put gulp water and puff your cheeks out, and then every time you breathe in, swallow, and then it kind of regulated your breathing because
Mm,
obviously with no blood's what carries the oxygen around your body. So because I don't have any blood, I have like my oxygen levels are really low as well.
yeah.
So like literally when I first started doing it, and then literally I used to post things into like, and honestly me and Rosie used to have such a laugh, and I'm like, what in the devil bullshit carnage is this? 10 laps of 20 meters, and she's like, But I just said, just carry a 15K throwing bag. And I'm like, it's not the weight. Like, you want me to do 10 lots of 20? Like, I'd been dying, and I'll never forget. Chloe Brennan was in the gym with me once, and she was like, come on, you can do it. I was like, no, I fucking can't. And she was like, yes, you can. And I'm like, no, I fucking can't. I'm going to die. Someone call an ambulance, because I'm so dramatic. And he's like, call an ambulance. Call an ambulance. I'm going to die. But then
Oh,
I
God.
joke around and I say these things, and then everyone's like, are you okay, though?
Yeah, actually, do we need to?
And everybody knows if I cut myself in the gym, everybody's like, do we need to take her to the hospital? Is it gonna clot? It's
Yeah.
honestly, it's quite funny, but they are the most beautiful, wholesome group of people in Rhinos.
Yeah, hell
From the
yeah.
very top of Ant to the very bottom of us, like just in the gym, even to the people that come on day passes and just pass through. Like, honestly, you really find your tribe,
Yeah.
I think, in strongman. And I think, like, that's one thing that I've learned. It's very unique. It's very like but yeah. But going back to sandbag to shoulder at the Arnold, so like if you watch the videos back now, I look back and I'm like, you look like a fucking twat. So the only way I was able to manage like reps was pacing myself. So it was sets of 4.
Right.
So we figured out in my prep that it was 4 to the shoulder, and then count. So I'm standing there counting my seconds. Like I think Matt Jackson was my referee, and he must have just looked there. I mean, he would have seen me in training, because I trained with Matt on weekends, on the Sundays, but he must have just thought, what the fuck's she doing? People in the crowd must have thought, what's she doing? I'm standing there going, 2, 3, 4. Standing there, and all I
It
can hear
works,
is
though.
Rosie go. All I can hear is Rosie going, "Keep going," and I'm like, "Why is she shouting to keep going? This is what we prepped. I need to get my breath back." But what happened is we were supposed to have gone out for 90 seconds. So it was reps in 90 seconds. And on the day, we went out and it was reps for 75 seconds.
Right.
So whether somebody come round and told the athletes, and I weren't there because my daughter come to watch me. So she was just sat on her own, like, and I sort of kept going out to her. So for whatever reason, I weren't aware. So
Right.
I was like, so in training, I'd done really well, and I'd managed to get between 12 and 14 reps within my 90 seconds. And I actually got 12 reps in the 75 seconds. So I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was very happy, yeah. But yeah. I look back at
I've
I
done
look
that
back and
before,
I'm
though.
like,
Yeah. And you always do that. I think with your first comp, you always look back and you're like, what the fuck was going on there?
yeah.
Who was
And
that person?
and do you know what as well? I've got a farmer's face. And now I've got a deadlift face. And I literally I loaded my I loaded my I loaded my I uploaded my videos of my deadlift the other day, because I'd hit some PBs, and he's like, and I'm like, you look like you're having a shit. Like, at what point? Like, and I'm like, literally, and then you've got lock it out, and you're like, and like, sometimes I mute all my videos, but sometimes if I haven't muted a video and I'm on a squat and I'm standing up and all you hear is, and I'm like, you're not giving birth, bab.
Yeah.
And it's just such dramatic. I'm such a dramatic person anyway. Like, I don't really hear anybody else in the gym. Like the lads, obviously, because they're all like, one of the lads has just done like the Europe's qualifier, and he was just like repping 300 and something K on his deadlift for jokes. And it's like, I can understand why you're like grunting. Because it's basically like 4 or 5 people that you're trying to lift. Then
Yeah.
here's me with my little 60K squat, and I'm like, "Ah!"
Hey, it doesn't matter. Weight's weight. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
love
know,
that.
like I know. I'm quite blessed, really. Like my weights, I like what I do. So
Hell
I
yeah.
do. Yeah.
I love it. Right, well, we best get into some questions then. So what's been your strong woman
Yes.
high?
Obviously competing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Competing and hitting the goals. I think just being able to hold my own, it was a stats category,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of experienced strong women. There was some questionable ones that should have maybe been in inters.
Always the way
but,
that.
but we won't get into that. But there was a few questionable ones that should have maybe been in inters. But they were all strong ass women, and they were all nice, and we all got on in the athletes area. There was no animosity, and I didn't necessarily go and tell people "Oh, I'm doing this and I've got this." Like, it was just I was just the average Joe there, but then afterwards and you all congratulate each other and we exchanged Instagrams, and I've had a few messages going, "Fuck, you did that and you've got this," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Have you got any other like comps planned then? What's the like? How
So
are you
I
working it
wanted to,
out
I
forward?
wanted to do Liverpool's,
Hmm.
but because of my health, obviously I've crashed and it's all just gone up and down. So they tried to relapse. So they called it like stabilised status, relapse status. So basically, whether I'm transfusion dependent or not. So, or they tried to relapse me, I think April time, and I kind of felt it. Rosie felt it. My training was scatty. It was all over the place. 1 minute I was going in and I was doing something like, and I couldn't, I was that tired. I couldn't just complete a session. So like even like a deadlift session, it'd just be deadlifts, lat pull downs, maybe a couple of seated rows. It was like nothing extraordinary that I needed to be in the hours for, in the gym for hours for. And I was just struggling. I was doing my deadlifts and it was like I felt fucked and I was going home. And then it's like,
Hmm.
oh, I'll catch that up this day or I'll catch that up that day. Um, and I do mindset lifestyle coaching with Chloe Brennan.
Yeah.
And it was just like, there's been a lot going on with my health. There's been a lot going on at home with the girls, with their personal lives, etc. And she was just like, control the controllables, Beck.
Yeah.
What can you control? You need to burst the bubble and alleviate some pressure somewhere.
Hmm.
And so that's when I chose to leave Rosie, because I just thought, as much as I love Rosie to pieces, she got me from the very second I went with her. She just got what I wanted to do, what the goal was. Like,
Yeah.
she got it. I'm quite a brash, like gobby type of person. And we just jowled because it was like, oh my God, I couldn't do that. I only did 8 sets. And she's like, well, actually, I'm looking at it and I think you just got out of breath. And if you tried again, you probably could have just tried a bit harder and done it. And that's the type of person that I need in my life. And, you
Yeah.
know, all right, I get it. Maybe you're poorly, but come on, girl, you could have done it. And that's the type of person I needed. And I will forever be grateful to Rosie. And, you know, I probably wouldn't be here,
Hmm.
you know, without her as well, programming me, the patience that she had, the check-ins that she had with me. You know, she's a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
So, but I made the decision to just go, right, I'm going to take a step back from coaching and just go and just do what I want to do and
Yeah.
have no pressure, sort of thing. And that's been really good for me. So I took a week off after I made the decision, and I let Rosie know and, you know, said like, this is going to be like my last week, etc. And then I went back into the gym, and then I found a love for the accessory work again.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, pulling the tricep pulleys and, you know, going on the belt squat and leg extensions, like, because I wasn't doing a lot of it building up to the Arnold's with my prep. And then after
Hmm.
prep, Rosie was kind of like putting these things in, but I weren't really doing or being able to do whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so for myself, for my health, for my sanity, for my mind, it was the right decision for me. Sad decision, but right decision for
Yeah.
me at the right time. Um, and so, yeah, that's probably one of my lows, actually, jumping onto your next
Perfect.
question. Yeah.
Perfect. No,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
go straight into that.
Blend it all in.
Absolutely.
I think that's probably very much one of my lows.
Hmm.
Um, Not being able to compete at Liverpool's. I did want to go straight back into a comp. I've half thought about doing our comp, Lift for a Life, because I think it'd be great, like, to showcase,
Yeah.
etc. But in terms of like the managing on the day, and if like we get a media attention, if people, I don't know, I haven't figured out the logistics of the day yet. So
Yeah.
I potentially may do that one. Um, Chantal, my friend from Liverpool, who's just done Liverpool's. She sent me one at the end of September. I think it's North Strongest. Did you just mention that?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Is
It's
it
up
end of
north somewhere
September?
anyway.
Might
And
be that strength, that news. Is it Northern Strength Federation or something? That new
I'm
one.
not sure, but she sent one and it looked decent. But then
Hmm.
there's also Warwickshire Strongest in September as well, which
Yeah.
I kind of thought. But in my head, I thought maybe up my comp would be the earliest comp that I would enter. But I
Hmm.
do think I definitely will do another comp before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Nice.
yeah. But yeah, a low is probably having to leave Rosie and
Yeah.
kind of just navigating just a little bit of normal training as
Yeah.
opposed to strongman training for a bit.
I think it's that accountability as well, isn't it? And I know a lot of us, like, I obviously get coached by Molly, and I could probably at this point coach myself. Like, I could
Yeah.
absolutely do that, but I need that accountability of someone else. But that also can be a detriment because I know when I have, like, I've got to a point now with Molly where sometimes if I have a month where I think I know I can't train this month, I know this is going to be too much. I'll say to her, look, don't program me anything because I know if it's there, it gives me stress knowing that I can't do it.
Well,
Like,
that's
and I
how
hate
I
that.
felt. Yeah, that's how I felt inside. And then like Rosie was like, "Oh, just checked in. There's no video." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I haven't had a chance." And I think that's the pressure then you get because obviously you are being held accountable, but they're not in a rude way. Like they're just doing their job.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do you know what I
But
mean?
you
You
feel
know,
like
and
you're letting them down, don't you? And you're
yeah,
like, "Oh, God."
And Rosie always used to say to me, like, "You're the easy." I used to always say to Rosie, I bet I'm your biggest nose of a client. Like, you're always chasing me. She's like, "No, you're the easiest. Like, I don't like you don't get your money's worth. like
Yeah.
you really don't get your money's worth." And yeah, I think so. But yeah, but I think that's probably a low. Like, I haven't touched any. I mean, I'm still doing axle clean and press, and I've picked up the lug again. But
Mhm.
in terms of like events like farmers yoke, etc., like sandbags, I haven't touched them now for like this is probably the 4th week.
Yeah.
I haven't touched them, so it's all just been very much maintenance training and
Mhm. Do you
just
have
kind of.
do you have to be careful with so when you're in like a relapse, you have to be careful about, like, obviously bruising and having extra bleeds or stuff like that while you're going through that?
Well, I don't. I should have. They tell me I can't go to the gym anyway. So part of the they've told me for 18 months I shouldn't be in the gym, and it comes from. So they say that it can cause. I could have internal bleeds,
Right.
so like tearing the muscles and all of that jazz. Obviously, that's what training is.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be doing that. But also infection. So your white
Right.
blood cells and your neutrophils are what controlling you and your infection markers. So obviously, strongman gyms they're probably the worst.
They're not the
They're
cleanest,
not.
are they?
I mean, do you know what? I went. I don't know where we went. All went. We had like a gym day out at a competition last year. I can't remember what it was. It was the back end of last year, and I remember going to the toilet and walking back out, and I was like, I can't. I need a wee, but I can't. I'd rather go down there and wee behind the car in the bush. I cannot. And it's like, and at what point do you wash your hands in that?
That's it. My hands are gonna be dirtier
So
washing them there than they were without.
we're really blessed that rhinos. We have a male toilet and a female toilet. So we have, and it's like when people come and go, "Is this the girls?" Oh, don't you dare take the girls' key. Go in your boys' toilet. Still, but it wasn't like that. And we haven't always had a ladies' toilet. We all just did go into one, and we had some poo gate stories, and we had some, like we had some right drafts. And you
Yeah.
sit there sometimes with your cup of tea, reading the group chat, and you're like, "Oh,
Someone's in trouble.
someone's in trouble." And then when Ant turns around and says, "If you like," it's like people leaving equipment round, and it's like, and own up, or I'm checking the cameras, and I'm like, "Get my popcorn. Who's it going to be this time?" Because I'm very clean and tidy in the gym. I'll always tidy up after myself.
Yeah.
It's gym etiquette for me is massive. And like I used to train at Gym Unities where I used to train in Tamworth before I went to Rhinos. And their gym etiquette in that gym was through the floor.
Was it?
And yeah, I mean, they've been taken over now. They've got whole new owners and it looks totally different, etc. But I used to always go in and I used to put things away and I used to tag them and I used to go, "Put your shit away, you lazy bastards." And they used to repost me all the time.
You were
And I'm
almost
like,
like the
but
unofficial
like,
gym
if you
manager.
can go up to the dumbbell rack and take them off and do your exercise, you can just put them back. You don't just need to drop them on the floor. Do you know
100%.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got an issue in our gym. We've got that many bars and obviously ain't got so much equipment in terms of for the Arnolds, and it all came back to our gym. Like, we're just inundated. We've got so many axle bars now, it's unreal. Like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, but no, but it is. So the infection side of things, I've got to be careful.
Mhm.
So because I'm not supposed to go and do shopping, I'm not supposed to touch a trolley.
Hell.
So
You're just
yeah,
like, fuck this. I ain't got time for
I'm just
this.
going to a strongman gym. So I do, in all fairness, I do an online shop. I do pop to the shops, and I am very mindful. In terms of like at the gym, you get to know people, don't you? So you can kind of gauge their level of cleanliness sort of thing. And there's no one in our gym who's really a tramp
Yeah.
and that dirty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But obviously the general public, you don't know what they're like, and
Yeah.
you get people with mental health who struggle with their personal hygiene. So I very rarely go shopping and touch a trolley these days.
Yeah.
And then, or I'll send the kids. So my youngest and now her boyfriend drives, and it's like, will you go shopping, and I'll send them a list and the money, and they'll go and do whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't tend to go, but I do have to be careful with the infection side of things. And that's another thing about going into comps as well, in terms of like being around people. And so like at the Arnold, we had an athlete area, but there was quite a lot. I mean, I think there was something like 46 novice men. Like it was a bit, and like, and then there was
Yeah.
all the women, and I think there was 18 of us women. So that's a lot of people. So I spent a lot of the time out the front, and it kind of coincided with sitting with a nay as well, sort of thing. But I do have to be mindful.
Yeah.
Like I don't have people in the house. The kids, like they've got a set a group of friends, but it's a shame really, but they can't have people round and things like that. And the nurses come, and I have to have district nurses in and out the house sometimes, and they put the shoe covers on, and they
Yeah.
wear the masks, and it's really quite OTT,
Yeah.
really. But that's my real life sort of thing. And when people see me, it's quite mad, because I posted something the other day. I think I managed to do 45 overhead on my push press, and then I did 140 on my deadlift. I don't know which post I posted, but I literally no wonder people don't think I'm terminally ill.
Yeah.
Just
'Cause you're just
sitting here
cracking on.
repping up, and just like, I know, and you do, social media is a highlight, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I set up training and transfusions to track everything, and when you go back to the very beginning of my page, it was all about the condition. But then when I hit stabilised status last September, October time, and then I decided to go to a comp, I just looked like a normal person training. And so then last week when I posted about relapse, everyone was like, oh my God. And it was like, this is my real life. Like,
Yeah.
I don't post. And I'm the type of person as well, no disrespect to anybody, but I'm quite a private person, and people think they know you from what you post online, but it's not calculated. But people need to remember that people only post what they want you to see.
Yeah.
I don't post being woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning with the nurses coming to check my blood sugars and my blood pressure.
Yeah.
I post the pictures of the blood transfusions and things like that, but I don't post, when I'm sitting there and I'm in pain, or I can't go to sleep, or I'm still awake at 2 o'clock, I can't regulate my body temperature, although everybody in the gym sees that. Because like, if Becky's got no clothes on, she's having a meltdown,
Yeah.
And then it's also like the thought process of people have as well, the thirst traps, and you think that I'm standing there in a pair of short shorts and a sports bra training because I'm thirst trapping, when actually I'm just trying to train and I can't regulate my body temperature, and the camera's not picking up the sweat that's dripping down my legs.
Yeah.
That's dripping down my face. My hair's gone frizzy. Like I've got afro hair underneath underneath these extensions. And it's like, and underneath it's all frizzy. You post some people post their negative bits, some people track it, but I'm just not that type of person to do that. I'll post, like I've had a relapse, but you don't see what goes on behind closed doors, I think. And I
Yeah.
think people need to, not just for me, I just think in general, you don't know. Life's hard.
Yeah.
Like for everybody, no one's shit stinks worse than the next person's. Just because I'm going through what I'm going through, it doesn't mean that it's worse than what the next person's going through,
Yeah.
And I think we live in a world and a society where people compare. Comparison is the thief of joy.
100%.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That person's got that car. Well, you don't know what, how, what, where, when, how, why they've got that car, or, they've gone to this comp and that comp and that comp.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we was just saying about, there was a couple of girls in the novice that potentially should have been in the inters. But at the same time, you think to yourself, well, have they gone through a period of ill health? Have they lost some strength? Have they done this? And we really just don't know.
Yeah.
And like my motto always is just be kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, life is
100%.
hard and kindness is just everything. And I love rhinos because everybody is kind,
Yeah.
and you can be in rhinos and you could be brand new and you could be on your deadlift platform and you could struggle, and one of us will turn around and go, Paul, come on, Paul. And and but we probably didn't even say hello to you.
Yeah.
Like, you've come in and you've got your headphones on and we've got our headphones on and we've just kind of like, hi, like not even said hello, but like just smiled like politely. And then you're struggling to pull them. We're like, rah, like put like, and that's, I think for me, one thing I've learned on this journey is that is just the epitome of strongman.
Yeah. 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 The
Like,
community.
yeah, it's just support. Supporting, supporting, supporting. I'll get messages, are you all right? And seen you in the gym for a couple of days. And yeah, I've got family who fucking messaged me for a year.
Yeah.
I've got some like last year when I was like going through these stupid bone marrow biopsies, half of my family were in fucking Dublin celebrating my cousin's 40th. And I'm fucking I'm
Bastard.
sat, but it's the person that I met a week before in the gym that's fucking
Yeah.
messaged me and said, like, just checking in, you okay? And I just think sometimes you can take people for granted. And I think one thing I will never do is take for granted the people that I've found along my strongman way.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was like, for me, that's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And we say it on pretty much every podcast about the community on this
Yeah.
like show. It's so good. Like, and I think that's why a lot of us end up staying in the sport for so long as well, because we make
Yeah.
make friends for life on it, don't we? But
I've made friends for life, yeah. Like, Chantal's from Liverpool. She lives an hour and 40 minutes away from me, but I speak to her every other day.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
literally, do you know what I mean? Her daughter comes on FaceTime to me and says hello, but she's never met me in person.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it is. It is a beautiful community.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely love it. And I think, yeah, it's why people stay in it, isn't it? But
Yeah.
what would you say to yourself when you first started the sport then? What are your words of wisdom?
Um, what, to somebody else coming in, or what for me? If
Yeah,
going back,
well,
somebody else coming in.
if you were looking back at yourself, like, I feel like you were just like, fuck it, let's go. Like, so what would you say to yourself? Like, what would you like to sort of give yourself advice on moving forward? And then what would you say to get people into the sport?
To get people into the sport, I think for me, it's just a case of you can never go wrong with being strong. And
Love
in a
that.
world of fucking skinny Pilates girls, like, no, like, I'll take my fluffy belly and my bingo wings. Yeah, we all have the kind of moments where it's like, oh God, like, she looks really fit and I look like, do you know what I mean? We all have the moments, we're all human. But look, from my experiences with strongman and the health side of things and everything, being skinny isn't gonna and having that aesthetic look that you think that you want is not gonna give you a long life, because osteoporosis and all of that, do you know what I mean? It all kicks in,
Yeah.
you know. And yeah, okay, my BMI probably turns around and tells me that I'm obese, or maybe morbidly obese, and I probably am on tipping on the scale where I probably could do with losing a few pounds in terms of like the fat sort of thing. But my body's kept me alive, and it's the strength training.
Yeah.
It's the strength training that's kept me alive, and there's no feeling that skinny will give you that strength will give you and muscle mass will give you for your life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'd probably tell anybody who was thinking about getting into strongman.
Yeah.
Forget the aesthetic. Look, we haven't got a mirror in our gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Gemma has no mirrors in our gym, and it's like, and that's why said about, like, when you look back at your videos and you grinning like faces, you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But like, but I've learned one thing. I've learned is I used to be very picky about what I'd post on my social media. I wanted it to be very much like filtered, and I suppose I mean it could be a combination of the health condition and strong. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So like, I post videos. Like I never ever before Strongman would have posted a video where you could see that I had belly rolls. Now I don't care.
Yeah.
Because the video is, and it's like, at what point have we taught our goals in life, before us, after us, to look at a woman on a video repping 140 kilograms on a deadlift, and we're concentrating on what her belly looks like?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
nah.
Fuck
Like, do
that.
you know what I mean? And like, and I've got 2 teenage girls. Rianne's 20, she's 21 in September, and A's just turned 18. And for me, they don't go to the gym, they don't do nothing, and they eat shit. Like, but for me, it's like, I know they're proud of me
Mhm.
because they tell their friends about me.
Yeah.
Like, what, like, do you know what I mean? And like, they show their friends more training social media, and they're like, "Oh, that's your mom," and they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
for me, just no feeling for it. They won't do it with me. I always say
Yeah.
to them, "Do you want to come to the gym with me tonight?" Nah, I can't do that. I can't. And like, even Ollie, so Ollie's a high boxer. That's a nice boyfriend. Ollie's a high boxer and he's a boxer, so he's quite fit himself, sort of
Mm.
thing. And then I'm like, "Do you want to come up to my gym with me?" And he's like, "Absolutely not." He's like, "Absolutely not." They're all lifting like my body weight times 10, sort of thing. But no, I think for me, that's a massive, massive, like, working in children's services, girls who've been groomed and trafficked, and that's my background in terms of young offenders and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
And social media is so prevalent for kids these days. You know, I know the government have just put this ban out to say that it's going to be like, it's coming into force about under 16s, but like, how are you stopping them? Because
It's
I
not gonna
work with
work.
these parents who have all got disguised compliance, and they'll just set up an account with their email address and a password, and then give all the apps to the kids. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we live in a society where everybody just, we live online. And I just think, for me, that is what you need to just kind of focus on. It's like, don't look at what other people are doing, and just look at yourself, what you can do
Yeah.
and what you want for yourself.
Yeah, I love that. No, it's class. And I do agree, like, the strength thing, I know your kids aren't into it yet, but just them knowing that that's there and knowing that that's an option and that it is something that they could do, like, is that's all it
Yeah.
needs to be, and showing them that, like, you don't have to look that certain way, as like, because that's the big thing in body
Yeah.
image in like younger girls. Like, we've all done that, haven't we, when we were 16, 17, 18, where you're like, fucking hell, I don't like the way I look now. You look back,
Oh, well, I did
you look
every
back
diet.
and
I
you're
mean,
like, fucking hell, I look great back
yeah.
then.
Well, I'm 14. I think I've done every diet. I think I've done every diet in the world. Like, I mean, my family, like, our background, we're all quite naturally slim and skinny. Like, I ended up really bottom heavy, but I was always very slim as a child. We used to do athletics, and it was only after a series of ectopic pregnancies I ballooned, and then that was about 10 years ago. And then that was when but I wasn't happy within myself, and it was like, right, I'm going to go to the gym, and that was the start of my gym journey. So,
Yeah.
like, for me, I'm 10 years, even though I'm only a year into strongman, I'm 10 years deep in terms of being. So when the doctor's saying about being fit and healthy, it wasn't just because I've been going to the gym. It was like 9 years building to that, being able to have that there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome that. I love it. I think your story is just so inspirational. Like, this has been an
Thank
awesome
you.
podcast. I've enjoyed it so much. Like, listening to you, you're
Oh,
so
thank you.
well spoken as well. Like, I've absolutely loved it. But we're gonna bring the tone down now for the final part of the podcast, as we always do,
Okay.
for everyone's favorite section, the silly goose section.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
So, do you have a silly goose that you would like to bring to the table first of
So
all?
I was like, what is a silly goose? I couldn't figure out what it was supposed to be.
Liv's really good at them. Liv's really
Well,
good at
Liv
them.
sent me a couple, but then I got another one yesterday.
Right.
And I don't know whether it's a silly goose or not, but I really like this one.
Try it. Let's go.
So, if you was to hold a strongman competition underwater, what events would we do?
Oh,
Is that a silly goose?
interesting. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good.
I liked it.
It's
So
a good one.
sorry,
That.
Olivia, I haven't gone with any of yours.
Well, it's all right, 'cause I stole one off her last week, so.
Yeah, I'll send you ones that she sent me then, because she sent me loads.
Perfect. I'll
That
keep
one-
stealing them off her.
Yeah, but that one popped up yesterday, and I was like, well, you couldn't do like moving events because you can't run underwater.
You can run
So-
underwater. That's a thing. Have you ever seen people train running underwater? That's a thing. It's like an event. I've
Oh,
seen
is
this.
it?
I'll try and find some videos to send you. Yeah, there's people that like
Ah.
they sink themselves, and then I think you like pick up rocks and carry rocks, and then run on the like sea floor. So you could do that. You could
Okay.
do like a rock
Sandbag.
sandbag carry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a
What
good one.
else?
Deadlifts would
Yeah.
be too easy because
The water.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have to make them like 400 kilos or something ridiculous for them to be
Yeah.
any form of like difficulty. It would be interesting to see how difficult a deadlift would be underwater, though, wouldn't it?
But I was thinking, my first thought was, I wonder how hard it'd be to log underwater.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because like you're taking it from the floor, but then where your hands go in the log, the water would sink into it, so it'd make the log heavier.
Yeah. But
But
then,
then would you be able to press it above? Like, I don't know.
well, surely when you press it above, though, you're going to shoot into the air as well, aren't you? Because the water, like,
Your
you're
feet
gonna,
will come off the floor.
your feet are going to come off the floor. So how would you then do the next rep? Because you're already halfway up the water now. Your feet aren't on the floor, the
then
log's
you'd
above you. You're like, shit.
So that's it. You're just getting one rep max on your log.
It would have to be,
underwater.
log for max underwater.
Yeah, but I thought it was quite a funny one, to be fair. Like, so if you could run underwater then, so you probably could do a yoke and a farmer's and a sandbag run.
Yoke would
walk.
be interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if you could yoke under the water because obviously the yoke's
Because
going to hold you. Like, yeah, it's going to hold you down a bit.
But would the water and the current lift you with the yoke?
I guess
And
it
I think with
depends.
farmers, would they go outwards? Like, you would be able to keep them vertical.
Yeah.
And would they go hot? And would they just naturally go with the current to the side?
There'll be someone who's into like physics who will understand this because it'll be to do with like the water density or like the salt content in the water, won't it? To like whether
that's over my head.
How heavy stuff is
Way
actually
over my
underwater. 100%. That's why I'm saying someone who knows about physics would know this. But yeah, that would be good. What was the other one I just thought of there? Throwing bags is going to be difficult. Not going to be able to throw them very well.
No.
That would be shit.
No, definitely not.
There was another one. Oh, stones. Yeah, I don't think tacky would work underwater.
But would you need tacky? Because would the stones lift with the current?
I think they'd be slippy, though. That's the only thing. Especially if you left the stones under the water, like in the sea, and then they got covered in algae, and then you had to try and lift them up. They'd be so slippery.
I've never picked up a stone, so I wouldn't know that.
See, we went, well, we weren't really snorkeling. I was just swimming under the water, but I kept trying to pick up stones off the floor, and it was actually quite hard. Some of them were dead slippy. And it was really tricky. And as well, the pressure, like, depending on how deep that water is, you're not going to feel great. And are you going to be able to do all of these events holding your breath?
Well, no.
So
we'd let them wear the whole snorkel thing, wouldn't we?
Like
breathe.
a scuba mask, yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to.
Or they could have one of those ones, where you just take a quick breath and you're like, and then you just like crack on, do your event, and then take another one.
Well, I'd be dead.
Yeah, you'd probably be dead, yeah.
I'd just be dead. Oh, that wouldn't work for me. I think we'd have to definitely let them have scuba masks.
Yeah. I'd like to try this, though. If anyone's got a pool and a yoke, then let's give it a go, because I want to see how hard this is. There was one event, wasn't there? Oh, God, what was it? Was it in Iceland's Strongest Man or something, where they did a keg load, but they were in about like 4 foot of water? Have you seen that before?
No, I'm going to have to Google that.
Yeah, I'll try and
find a video of that. They were stood in 4 foot of water.
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, the water was about chest height on them, and they had to pick up kegs from under the water and then like toddle along with them, put them in, and then run back. But like when they were running back, some of them were like swimming back. It was really interesting. I like the idea.
That does, yeah. Because that's kind of like bordering along the lines of like implementing strongman into triathlon type of things, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. No, there's definitely interesting things there. It ties in nicely as well with my silly goose that I'd come up with before, because it must be in the water at the moment, because I'm really into water as well, and because I'm into fishing. So I was thinking, would you rather? Yeah, fishing's taken a big hold on my life at the moment. Like my strongman obsession at the beginning, fishing's turned into that for me now. It's really bad. But my silly goose for you was, if you were a fish, would you rather be a fish in the river or would you rather be a fish in the sea?
In the river.
Would you? Why?
Because the sea's just the sea's unknown.
Oh,
like, you just don't know, like the shark, you just don't know. And anybody can get into the sea. Anybody can get into the sea from anywhere, whereas rivers, they're kind of locked off, aren't they? Like reservoirs type of thing. I
Yeah.
don't think you'd find a shark in a river.
I think, yeah, depending on what type of fish you were, you definitely have less chance of dying, I feel like, in a river than the sea.
Yeah.
The sea's got a lot more fish predators, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And they
But I
trawl
mean,
in the sea as well, so you've got a bigger chance of getting caught, whereas in the river, no one's trawling rivers, are they?
No,
Hopefully not
no,
anyway.
no. And the catch things, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely the river. Definitely in the river.
Yeah, it's funny that, because I think I would also enjoy being a river fish more.
Yeah. So where do you prefer fishing?
Well, at the moment, I have only fished in the river. I've fished once in the sea, but that was a while ago. But yeah, I've only been fishing in the river because I actually don't live anywhere near the fucking sea. It's a nightmare. So I'm pretty limited. But
I don't
yeah.
think sea fishing's a big thing over here, to be fair. So the girl's dad, my ex-husband, he was a massive fisherman. So we
Oh.
had we had a whole fridge freezer that was dedicated to boilies and maggots and whatever. And then
Yeah.
I had this obsession of taking maggots out of the freezer and watching them defrost.
Oh, God.
So that was my life, like when I was younger, when I was with their dad. But he had fishing boats and he had bivvies and he's like all these rods. Is it Shimano?
Yeah.
Or something, and it was like £400. You're talking like 15 years ago, £400 for a fishing rod.
It's crazy.
But he absolutely loved river fishing, and his mum and dad live in Bewdley. So if ever you want a nice river, Bewdley's a beautiful place.
Hell yeah.
But he used to fish the river, and the amount of carp they used to get out of there was unreal.
Yeah.
And his dad, here's a tip for you, his dad, the girl's granddad, he used to coat his boilies in brown sauce.
Brown sauce. Ooh, I
And
haven't heard that one before.
And Alan used to come up with all sorts of concoctions. I swear, honestly, he used to spend his weekends in the kitchen. And I never forget Lee's mom, Tina, she used to be, I just want to cook dinner. And he'd be standing there with with the saucepans with different boilies and different flavourings and
All
seasonings.
stinks as well, doesn't it?
And it's vile, isn't it? But I never forget, because I live in Bewdley now, that was always their retirement plan, and that's what they did. But brown sauce, Alan
Ooh.
swears blind on coating your boilies in brown sauce. So if
I'll
you
have
do
to
it
try
and you
that.
actually catch some fish, let me know.
I will, yeah.
Honestly.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it
Yeah.
a go. No,
Yeah.
I've got some fishing plans done. But anyway, right. Well, that's been a great silly goose. Again, gone straight off piece, which is what we always love. So
Yeah,
is there
that's me, it's would say.
100%, yeah. I love it. Absolutely love it. So is there anything that you finally want to promote again? Remind anybody about anything like that? Where can people find you, follow along your journey, all that sort of stuff before we finish the
I'm
pod?
on Instagram. Training and Transfusions is my handle on Instagram. I'm not anywhere. I've got a TikTok as well, actually, Training and Transfusions, but I don't really post on there. But the same thing. And then obviously just the Lift for a Life competition. So it's in collaboration with a whole lot of people. We've got Explosive 8, we've got 100 CA, Rhino's Gym, Together We Lift, the Aplastic Anemia Trust, Anthony Nolan Charity, and NHS Give Blood. Bloody hell, we've got quite a lot of people.
A lot,
bloody
yeah.
hell. We've still got spaces for entries in all categories. So we've got novice, inters, opens, men's and women's. It's on the 23rd of August. It's at Rhino's Gym in Tamworth. So it's on the Common Barn Farm. Beautiful, picturesque setting. And yeah, just come along. We've got, even if you want to come along and spectate and donate to charity for the day, come and sign up for Anthony Nolan or, whatever. There'll be some families with aplastic anemia as well coming down. We've invited them down because obviously Rhino's does kids classes.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really want them to see that we can do with aplastic anemia, especially, some of the younger ones who are struggling to get the funding for their medications, and kind of start it young. But yeah, I'm just kind of on a little bit of a mission at the minute to want to tell people, go and lift some weights, because it can help you. It can help your aplastic anemia, and if it helps people with other types of anemia as well, sort of thing. But yeah, 23rd of August,
Hell yeah.
Rhino's Gym in Tamworth. Yeah. Get your entries in. Get them entries in.
Hell yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Forget about Natty World. Forget about Natty World. We don't need to go to Natty World.
No one wants to do
we
that.
Don't need that
Too expensive
title.
anyway.
You don't need that title. Come and get a nice shiny. Our trophies are going to be in the shape of a blood drop.
Oh, nice. This
Right, just putting it out there.
This might be selling me because I love a different trophy. I'm very into getting a different trophy.
Ant did say to me about trophies and the expensive trophies, and I've decided I want it to be the way I want it to be. So
Yeah.
I'm going to foot the cost for it if I need to. But I want it to be in the shape of a blood drop, and I want like all the different logos on it. So it's it's definitely going to be nice.
I like that a lot. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tag all of that information in the show notes below so that everyone can find it. But thank you so much for being on the podcast, Rebecca.
Thank you
It's been
for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
Nah, I've loved
No, it has.
it.
I've enjoyed it. I thought I was going to be really nervous, and but I haven't. I've just sat here and just gasped like I always do.
Nah, we love that. Everyone says that, and by the end, everyone's like, it's just like chatting to a mate. And I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
But nah, it's been amazing. Well, I hope you all enjoyed listening to this episode. And yeah, check out the show notes below for all that information. And we'll see you on the next one. So see you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Strong Woman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!